Imagine this. Anybody in this room, if I could say, hey, somebody cured AIDS, I'll be like, right. Man, it ain't been 24 hours. We got to pick up the baton and run it across the world. Look at all these tweets. Please watch over and protect Nick if he's going to take over when Nipsey left off.
He offered cures for incurable diseases. He offered hope and life to those about to die.
They will do it then. The same thing they do with everything else. They will figure out a way for you to live with.
This is how the healthcare hustle works. We bring you in, you're sick, we start you on treatment protocols that are many times more toxic than what we're treating you for.
It's just mind-numbing to see how we can allow people like this to come among us, poison us, and then live comfortable lives.
He's an immigrant from Honduras who never went to school, college, or medical school. Yet the man known as Dr. Sebi claims to have found a cure for several life-threatening diseases, including AIDS. Too good to be true? Well, you be the judge.
He made black people question the information that they were getting from their very own medical doctors.
We have been misled not only by the foreigners that are not part of our race, but we were also hoodwinked by our brothers that was trained by those people.
Dr. Sebi did not have to go through university systems once he realized that the knowledge was all around him, that he was walking over medicine.
All right, so we here at TASO, the AIDS support organization in Uganda, trying to get some answers.
When I told my mama that I had cured my 13 AIDS patient, she said, they gonna make me.
Today, a Brooklyn man who masqueraded as a doctor has been arrested by the state attorney general.
Can you cure AIDS?
I have cured AIDS many times, sir, and I can cure AIDS again and again.
AIDS has been cured by the Usha Herbal Research Institute.
So if Sebi on the Usha Research Institute cure AIDS, who cure AIDS? The black race or Sebi? It is the black race.
Dr. Sebi had brought so many levels of healing to our community. He, like many other could have for surely been a target of powers that be.
There is a group of people who do not want everyone to be here.
They have cures for a lot of things, but that's not what keeps America going.
So who's the real problem here? Is it Sebi or is it some pharmaceutical company that is willing to exploit us?
This man has not objectively shown that what he does. I would say he either deserves a Nobel Prize or a term in jail, and I vote for the latter.
So when I found out about Sebi, and it's really about his case. You know, niggas was tweeting me, Hustle, be careful, man. Your plane gonna go down. I say,
anybody watching this, I want people to take Nipsey's lessons. So I don't want none of us to be afraid.
Anything that interferes with their omnipotent need to own and control everything is a danger and will be eliminated.
That was a long time coming right there.
Yep.
That was a long time coming. Where you go? Oh, there you go.
There we go. Wow. I saw that earlier.
That was a long time coming right there. Good timing. So the marathon definitely continues. Obviously, here we go, a year to date. And I'm going to show people beyond a shadow of a doubt how we still doing the work, right? And how we are healing now, reversing coronavirus. So for the people that's rocking, this is not an issue. So I'm going to let you take over and just tell your, talk that shit. What happened?
Hey. Hello, everyone. My name is Enqi King. As you know, this is probably maybe the fifth time I've reached out to Enqi about a few different elements I had going on. First was with lupus, which there's a YouTube video out about that. Maybe about 3 years ago we did. something like that. Yeah, so I reached out to him about lupus and kidney failure and things that I was having that was caused by the lupus. And as of today, 4 years, I've been lupus free. Yeah. So up until recently, I had no cold for like the last 4 years. I never even had like a runny nose. I barely sneezed. I never coughed. I mean, like I've been excellent for the last 4 years. Okay. So up until recently, I've been in a lot of meetings and stuff like that, meeting with some of everybody lately. I started having some symptoms. Now, at this time, the coronavirus was out, but it wasn't here in Michigan, so they say. And I was having like really light symptoms. I just knew that my body was a little different because, like I said, I haven't had a headache. My nose hasn't ran. I haven't sneezed. I have not coughed or anything in like 4 years. So I noticed I had a slight headache and I was feeling like hot and cold for like one day. So it's like 2 weeks ago, maybe like 2.5 weeks ago. And I kind of ignored it because I'm like, okay, it's really light, you know, nothing is really going on. But then I started noticing that my energy was like low. Like normally I'm like very high energy, like I can go, you know, all day, you know. And so then I think like maybe a couple of Sundays ago, I was at my mom's house and I noticed that I was getting hot and cold, and I just thought because I had my fur on and I was being silly or something, I don't know. But long story short, I wasn't feeling well. I laid down that night and soaked in the tub. When I got up in the morning, I was literally felt like I was dying, honestly. I was having like a sudden like a restriction, like something was doing this to my lungs. So I was feeling like shortness of breath. And then, like I said, I haven't vomited or anything like that. So I was nauseous and wasn't able to hold down water. My body was aching. But like I said, I didn't really have a cough. I coughed maybe like one time, but the main thing was like my energy. My energy was shot. So I called the EMS to come over because I just didn't know what was going on. And they came over and they told me to go to Beaumont Hospital because they were doing the corona testing there. So I called my family. My dad came and got me and rushed me to emergency because at this point I couldn't barely walk. Like I was just like out of it completely. Like from being okay that night to the next morning by noon, I was like completely out. Like didn't know what was going on. Heart beat fast and everything. So go to the hospital. They test me they tested my blood work. They said everything was like really good. White blood cells, red blood cells, everything was fine. They said that I tested negative for the flu, and they did a chest x-ray and they said that my lungs were fine. So they were going to send me home. So I asked them, like, you know, normally when this happens, when you test negative for the flu, does that mean I have coronavirus? So she said they'll let me know in 2 days. Within these 2 days, the first thing I knew to do after I prayed, right? Because you pray and then you got to do something, right? So I prayed. Then I knew to call Enqi. Because I knew Enqi had the stuff I needed to get.
I like that. Right. I like that. Prayed and then called
my body.
That's a nice,
I'm serious.
Nice protocol.
Listen, I have the text message. I was in the hospital. I got the text message. I was like, Demetrius, call Enqi, get my herbs, have them at home for me as soon as I get there. I was like, the only reason why I want to be in the hospital is to get the IV because at this point I got dehydrate, right?
Okay, so hold on, stop right there.
Okay.
So I'm panicking right now. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I tell people it's levels to this, because it's not till you have actual friends and family members, people you really bang with, people you love, people that love you, you know what I'm saying, that has, you know, coronavirus, like when it gets real. you know. So, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, I'm quarantined off with the babies and all that, you know what I'm saying. So I'm like, all right, send Demetrius, you know what I'm saying, to come get the herbs. You got coronavirus, nigga.
You taking a coronavirus, gonna travel on a car.
So wait, coronavirus, Demetrius is quarantined too. So he like, hold on, we're gonna send somebody else. So we finally figured this out. So it was Dave, right?
Huh?
It was Dave.
What, they came and got it?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea.
Wow.
All I knew when I got home from the hospital, I had a package. That's all I know.
Right. So we put the herbs. I put the herbs together, and I gave her. Can you still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because my computer screen is freezing, but I'm just making sure you can still hear my voice.
Okay, I can hear you. It's
okay,
freezing a little bit,
but you can still hear my voice. It's not freezing, right? Okay.
Yes.
Good. All right. So I put together for her the detox kit and the antiviral kit. So that's what I sent her, the detox kit, the antiviral kit. We tied it up in a little bag and put it on her doorknob. So as soon as she got back from the hospital, the herbs is right there on her doorknob before she get into the house.
It was there. I mean, listen, I had Uber. I got home because they didn't release me right away. My blood pressure has started going up. And my blood pressure is normally low. Like I'm like 110, 115 over like 75. My blood pressure had gotten to like 146 over 98 or something like that, right? So I wanted to stay there in the hospital because I knew at this point I was dehydrated, and I knew that, in order to absorb anything, and especially anything I'm about to get from Enqi, I needed some hydration, right? I needed the water because I knew I was about to come home and take some shit, okay? So anyway, I got here and got the herbs. First thing I did was wash my hands, I took all my clothes off in the kitchen, threw everything out on side because, even though I just didn't know if I was contaminated or if I had it on me, or I didn't know what was going on. So got in, took everything off, washed my hands, everything. I got the herbs. Let me see, what did I take first? I took the drops first. I had like 2 drops.
Okay, so hold on. Let me, so when Amber had her accident, for the people that know my story, one of the problems with Amber was that she was in ICU. So I knew at that moment that there was, just in that time, just with Amber, I knew that I wouldn't be able to give her herbal capsules. And so I learned then a lesson that would help me all the way into the future, especially up to situations like with coronavirus, that there are some times when you don't have the ability to take herbs. So sublingual is the answer for that. And a lot of people with coronavirus, one of the main symptoms is the constant nausea and vomiting and not being able to keep anything down. So being able to have the liquids go directly under your tongue and get right to the blood and go around the digestive process is one of the key elements with the way we have our detox and antiviral kit put together. But let me show them this real quick so people don't think this is cap, even though I know nobody would, assume. People that know us would think it's cap, but
yeah, for sure.
Let me show this real quick just so people can see what I'm talking about.
And what I think he's about to show is my lab work from Beaumont. And as you can see, my blood work is fine. Blood work is fine. And most of the time when you're ill, your white blood cells or your red blood cells, when you have an infection, your white blood cells would be higher, right?
So, yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, right?
What's going on with you? You'll see elevated white blood cells.
Yeah. So that was a little bit surprising to me because when your body is up under attack, a lot of times that stuff would be off. However, when they tested me up here, they tested me for the flu A and B. That came back immediately about 3 hours later or something like that. And it was negative. Blood work was good. Chest impressions were good. It says it right here. No pneumonia, no fluid, nothing. I mean, completely clear, right? And remind you, I didn't have a cough. Like maybe days before or maybe a week before, I had like a cough like once a day. So that's when I knew something was wrong, because remind you, I have not coughed in 4 years.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm taking my Mama Tomics. I'm, doing my little stuff or whatever, So, anyway, they called me back 2 days later and they said, the CDC called and they said that, did I get the news? It was making it seem like it was a death sentence. I'm like, what? Did I get what? What the hell is going on? Shit.
So the actual CDC calls you up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the CDC called. The hospital called first, and then the CDC called. They've been calling me kind of every day, just like asking me my symptoms and all of this. And then when I ask them something, they have no answers, right?
No, because they're studying. They're
studying. They don't know. Right.
They're trying to study and learn about this. They don't know what to do.
Yeah. So anyway, I get home. I take the herbs or whatever. I soak in the tub with some Epsom salt. I lay down. My body was aching. I just wasn't feeling good. Like even my brain, because like I said, I knew that I was dehydrated. I'm gonna tell y'all something. My brain started playing tricks on me, because when you're dehydrated and you don't have certain, and I don't eat meat and stuff, so I don't have too much, crap inside me. And I hadn't get no herbs, and I had no Mama Thomas. I had nothing here. Your brain started, like playing tricks on you. So anyway, that next day I took the pills, and he had told me to take it was like 6 pills I had took, I think, and
capsules.
Huh?
The capsules, the herbs.
The herbs. Yeah. Not pills. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He told me to take 6 capsules of 3 different products of his. And then I did some drops. I woke up the next morning, no lie, 100, like I never went to the hospital yesterday. 100% better. I mean, like normal, like nothing happened. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like walking around like, wait a minute. I was just dying last night and I feel better.
Right.
So,
this is her actual blood work right here. This is not some fluff. It's not hypothetical. This is her test back from the hospital when they give you. This is how your work comes from the hospital. Yeah. SARS-CoV-2 detected. When they see detected, that means you're positive for coronavirus. If it says not detected, then that means you don't have anything. So this is the paperwork that you actually get back from the hospital when you go to the hospital, right? And they're telling you how the test works, the methodology, nucleic acid amplification. That's basically what I was talking about on, I forgot which platform I was on, but the PCR test. It basically takes your genetic material and they run it through a cycle in a reproductive medium. And every time it goes through the cycle, they're looking to see what they can amplify. And if they find RA or whatever the case may be, then they'll say, based on the symptoms, they'll correlate what they find to the symptoms and give you a result. And so this is her actual, this is not a made up, this is actual factual, like, you know what I'm saying? 0 games played. March 17th, 7/26, she took the test. Just about the next day, right? Less than 24 hours, she got her test result. And before she even had the test result, though, that night, she was already on the herbs, started the protocol up.
Yeah. So, like I said, after then, I woke up and I felt like 100% better. As the day went on, I started going like in this wave, like I would feel really bad, and then I would feel, a little better. So I was like going at these peaks, but I did notice like every time I would take, like, I don't know if my body was saying like it needed the herbs or it was time to take the medicine again, or I mean, whatever. I didn't know if that's what it was, but I would take it again. I would drink a lot of water. I didn't have a headache. I had no more headache. The only thing I was really that took a minute for me to get back was my energy and my appetite. As far as me being before, I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't walk. Me just talking was taking my energy. It was like I had ran a whole mile or something, right? So that was gone. I wouldn't like that. The next day I just had no energy. I mean, I just had like no appetite. My energy was better, but I had like no appetite. So like I said, I took the stuff. I think I'm still taking it. And within a few days, I was feeling fine.
You was back.
Yeah, I was back. But it was like a rough 2 days. Like the first 2 days was like really bad. Like my dad was scared. He was looking at me like, oh, my daughter is not right. They had to wheelchair me in and everything. But like I said, I noticed after I took the drops, which I don't know what all you gave me.
Yeah, the antiviral kit comes with 2 different types of drops, and then you had the Mama Tonics also.
Okay, yeah. And I think I got maybe like I think I'm done with them. I had some extras and stuff. Yeah. So the CDC called me back. They asked me basically how was I doing, what were my symptoms, who I was around. They asked me how I was feeling, and they were basically telling me that they was happy to hear that I was having a speedy recovery, as they would say, right? A speedy recovery. She asked me what was I doing. I just told her I was, hydrated, and you say herbs to people, it's like doctors. It's like, okay, bye. She asked me, so I told her. I was like, no, I had some herbs waiting at my door. Okay, well that's good. Okay, but
right.
Yeah.
See, they didn't expect you to make such a quick turnaround in recovery because they didn't give you nothing. They just basically leaving people out there. You at home with coronavirus. They calling and check. All right, so are you dead? Are you dead yet, or you still living? Oh, okay, good. All right, good. We'll keep up with you.
Listen, at this time, I'm asking them questions. I'm like, well, I had it before. How long it's going to be in my body? Because at this point, I'm a mom. I wanted to go get my son. I want to hug him and kiss him and all of that. And I couldn't. So I asked them, how long would this be in my body? Can I get it again? And just about everything I asked them, they had no answers. They wanted to know what was I doing and who was I around. So to me, I felt a little bit some kind of way, like, help me. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me some more information. But yeah, so as of today, I am corona free, along with lupus free and kidney failure free. Stage 3 kidney failure from the lupus free. Don't have any of those issues due to, first gaining knowledge, knowing what to do, knowing what sacrifices to take, what not to eat, and who to call. They say call Ghostbusters. I call Enqi. I call a few people. Asa, KT, help me. Yeah. So that's what it is.
And we got the job done. Now, let me walk everybody through. So you could go back to making your breakfast or whatever. This might take a minute. So everybody put out their notebooks, pens, pads, papers, and I'm gonna walk y'all all through exactly what the protocol is and how it works and in detail, so you guys get it. All right. So